G'day ladies and gentlemen, Duckville here bringing you a game from the NA ladder. This is going to be a Zerg versus Protoss featuring one of my good buddies who sent through this replay. Apparently this one has a great deal of epic micro in it and hopefully we'll see that very soon. Our blue Protoss down the bottom playing for Robot Esports is Gemini. You may remember him previously. He's been in some of the other casts that I've done. A really good Protoss player up there in High Masters, I believe. I don't think we hit Grandmasters just yet, but close enough was Gemini, and he's got, as we can see, he's going to do a fast expand here against our Zerg player in the red up the top. It is htpkANGST, or maybe Angst is a team. I don't know. Either way, this should be some fun. Of course, Antigua Shipyard, a very good map. Of course, it's been around for quite a while, although we do have some small issues with it, such as these the gold minerals in the middle. But we don't see too many of those these days. A lot of the custom maps and the maps that have been made for competitions and tourneys and everything like that don't have gold rocks anymore. They sort of have removed all of those, just generally because they can sort of, they can create a little bit of an imbalance, not necessarily towards a particular race, especially after Terran Mules got nerfed in relation to how much they can mine from the golds, but it could just be really difficult to sort of lock someone down after they've taken the gold expansion, and if they're good at making sure they build gold expansion and defense it, then they're going to be in a really good spot. So anyway, so Antigua, of course, it's I'm pretty sure this is going to be nearing the end of its lifespan, especially in tournaments. I think we're starting to phase it out a little bit, but it does have it does produce some really good games. You've got a nice simple expansion to take, whether you're Protoss, Zerg, or Terran. Of course, a Protoss has a couple of ways you can wall. You can do a wall just across to basically using the Nexus as part of the wall off as well. Then, of course, you've also got this a little bit more of the common way to do it is to wall off the big ramp here. You will need a couple of big buildings, obviously the Forge Gateway, most likely the Cybernetics Core, and then even another pylon to make sure that this is walled off. And even then, it won't be a full wall off. You want to try and make sure that you leave a little bit of a space for a probe to get through. But for the Zerg, of course, you do come down here to the Nat, take this one pretty easily, although in this case Gemini is being a little bit annoying here, puts down a pylon to make sure that that is not easily taken by Angst, and then he's going to leave the probe circling his way around at the third base as well. So if Angst wants to come across and try and take that third very quickly, he's not going to be able to do that as easy as you would if the probe was not there. But looks as if Angst went for that very quick pull here just to make sure he's got a couple of lings out and disposes of the pylon easily, putting the hatchery down, and it looks like he is going to be able to get a third base down pretty quickly as well. So everything proceeding pretty standard here. Of course, we've got the Forge already up, Gateway down as well, and a cannon for Gemini. He's also got his natural Nexus just about completed. It's got around about 15 seconds to go before that one is up. And then as a Protoss, you want to try and look to do, you've got a couple of different options here. You can look to do that Immortal-based push, with the Immortal Sentry sort of two-base thing with a whole bunch of gates, push across with a Warp Prism, and then go and take down your Zerg opponent. And then you can also do a couple of things, such as get a Sentry Immortal-based expansion, where you can pick up the third base here and try and keep that secure. Of course, there is a second entryway in there through the destructible debris once they're taken down, and then there are a couple of attack paths through here, which can be very useful for Zerg. Of course, with multiple attack paths comes multiple defensive responsibility for a Protoss, so you have to be careful with how you defend. But for the moment, looks like Angst is just going to make sure he gets his economy rolling here. We've got the third hatchery just about to complete as well. Meanwhile, the natural is completed. A couple of drones here going to make sure that that mining gets up and running as swiftly as possible. A couple of lings having a quick look to see what's going on at the front here. There already is an Overlord. I don't exactly see why he sacrificed that ling. You don't need to throw that one away, but he did get a quick look at what's going on. The Overlord will now retreat because, of course, with the Cybernetics Core done, that means that a Stalker will be on the way very soon. And this little Overlord as well, he's going to have to get out of there because he's going to be in big trouble if he hangs around too long. So work account for these guys, very even at the moment, but that is only because because Angst is only just about to get his economy started. As we can see, getting 2 of his gas down here at the natural. I was going to say that's very quick to get the 3rd and 4th gas, but he actually did not get them inside the main. Now, A couple of reasons for this can be that this map is very common to see Warp Prism sentry drops, whereby a Protoss will want to come through here through the vents that sort of give them a little bit of cover, drop off a sentry, wall off the ramp, and then just do all sorts of terrible, nasty things to the main base. So I could certainly see if you wanted to sort of put all your very tech-based buildings down here. As we can see, the Roach Warren is already down here. We may even see both the Evo chambers go down here. There's one of them. We'll see probably a second very soon as well. But it's just a good way to make sure that not everything is lost if a Protoss gets inside the main and starts laying waste to everything that's here. So it's certainly a viable option there for the Zerg player. But of course, you do still have to worry for you have to watch out for that Warp Prism drop play, which I think may be coming in here from Gemini. Looks as if he's just going to clear out this Overlord before he can see what is going on, but the Overlord has nowhere to go because there's no more space across to the side here, so this Overlord is in a bit of trouble. If he can get a little bit further down, he might be able to get out of harm's way, but not quick enough. Of course, those Ferrari move speeds of the Overlords, not quick enough to get away from the Stalker in time. But Warp Prism is just out now. He's going to pick up a couple of sentries and a Stalker, in fact, even getting a third sentry as well. The Warp Gate tech is now done as well. A couple of gates inside the main just completing for Gemini as well. So it does look as if he is going to go for a Prism drop here. As we can see, he's just going to head across to the side. Going to switch those gateways across into Warp Prisms now. And it looks as if Angst is not totally prepared for this just yet. As we can see, he really doesn't have too much of sort of a unit presence out on the map just yet. He's got 10 Lings just about to come through, but the Warp Prism is already inside. Here it goes. He's going to drop off that sentry. Is he going to be able to wall off the ramp? Yes, he does get it. There are a couple of Lings inside, however, and a couple of Roaches have just hatched. So it looks as if Gemini is going to have his way with the base here, but for how long? That's the question. With the extra gates now just finishing at home, he's got extra prisms, extra warp gates to utilize here. But it looks as if the couple of Roaches that were here did get a few kills off. It looks like the Queen went down as well. There is only one sentry left, so this is not going to last too long. But a Zealot inside was able to get a few kills. He's got 8 kills now, almost 9, but does get easily taken down by the Ling Roach defense of Angst. So looks as if Angst is he's done a good job. Let's have a look at the worker losses. We've only got seven workers down for Angst, so he won't be too fussed with that. It's not as if that is a game-changing loss of workers there, but it's certainly one to consider when you need to obviously keep your economy in good shape if you want to try and get that Roach-Ling combination going as a Zerg, because you want to try and make sure that you can deny the Protoss from getting their third base. Now, as you can see, looks like Angst is going to have a quick look up to the third. Going to need to get rid of the destructible debris here, so that's going to go down in just a moment, and as we said before, that gives him another attack path up through here into what is potentially the third base of Gemini. So we'll find out if Gemini is going to be able to take his third base, or perhaps if he's just going to stick to a two-base play here. He does have a couple of Immortals out. There is a third on the way. There is another batch of sentries that's just jumped into the Warp Prism. They're going to see how far they can get, but Roach Ling just about to commence the attack on the natural base here of Gemini. Not going to get too far, but as you can see, good upgrades at the moment for Gemini. He's got 1-1 on the armor and the weapons of the ground units. Looks as if the Prism going to take a few hits. One of the sentries just moving into position here, putting down a very nice force fields. They're going to block off that path, but unfortunately with only one sentry shining its flashlight on all of those units, that's not going to last too long. And unfortunately for Gemini, this is not Brood War. That was not a Corsair putting down the Disruptor Web, and that did not really work too well on the Spore Crawler, but the Prism did stay alive. It's still got about half health left over and a bit of the shields as well, but now looking good is Angst up at 159 supply. He's got a huge total of Roaches here along with the Lings as well. He's going to try and sweep around, but speaking of sweeping, beautiful force fields here from Gemini. Unfortunately, some of them were a bit too late, and he did let in a few of those Lings, and now as we can see, the battle rages with the Roaches stuck on the outside. They're not going to be happy about that, but 3 Immortals are in that big mix there, and inside the main there are a couple of Zealots just going to do a bit of harassment as well. But meanwhile, at this main battle, it looks as if Gemini is going to lose some of these units here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to win this battle, but he does have the Prism to lift up some of the units, and he's going to drop down the Immortals Well, oh wow, pulling the Immortals out of the fight there just to make sure they don't take full damage off those roaches. And as we can see, more reinforcements now streaming in for Gemini. He's got all sorts of units now just jumping into the battle. Zealots inside the main did get quite a lot of damage done, as we can see. And now he's going to be able to push further on. But is there going to be enough here? He's only got the 2 Immortals and then these 7 Stalkers, and there are so many Lings that just sort of swept through. And now the roaches tried to focus fire on the Immortals, but the Immortals were picked up. Beautiful micro there from Gemini to keep them out of range of damage. And now here come the roaches again, trying to sort of just stutter step their way forward, but it looks as if there is just way too much here. The Immortals proving their weight in gold, as we can see, being picked up as well, and they're going to stay alive for the moment. Good micro again. So back home for Gemini, he's stuck on these 49 probes, but as we can see, our Zerg player Angst is also stuck on 49 drones. He's got to produce so many units to make sure he's defending against this, and with extra Stalkers now moving into the battle, I do not know if Angst is going to be able to save this, but he does pick up a few of these Stalker kills. The drones coming into the battle as well. It looks like he is going to be able to take down most of those Stalkers, but more Zealots now coming in. As we can see, they're going to be able to tank some of the damage. Looks as if the Immortals are taking some shots as well, but they get lifted up yet again. Here we go. That is a bit of grubby micro there to make sure that those Immortals are out of danger, and there they go. Immortals laying waste to the leftover roaches. 2 of them still left over. Zealot and 1 lonely Stalker here left in this battle, picking up the Immortals again, dropping them down all over the place. So we'll have a look at the micro. There it is, 211 APM at the moment, or 230 current, and it looks like Gemini is going to be forced back just for the moment, but as we can see, there is quite a lot on his plate that he can use to bring up an attack at Angst, and it looks like Angst is going to have a little bit more trouble. As we said, the economy not looking good for Angst at all. He's down to 41 drones, lost a few of those in that battle at the ramp of the 3rd. And now with 3 Immortals, 4 Stalkers, and some Zealots as well, Angst is going to be in quite a lot of trouble. The supply is starting to go the way of the Protoss, and as any Zerg will know, that is not what you want to see. One of the Stalkers is actually just sort of hanging out here. He's got very little health, but is going to keep him alive just for the moment. But it looks like Gemini is preparing for the final attack, bringing up that big group of units here. Going to be just be able to walk through this 3rd base, going to be able to destroy that quite easily. The Roach is coming back for Angst, trying to save the days. There are some hero Roach attempts, but that is not going to do it. And I think even with the resupply of Roaches and Lings, Angst is not going to be able to save this one. There are so many units here that he has to deal with. The Stalkers do not have Blink, but they will be able to stay alive with some beautiful micro through that Warp Prism. In and out they go. That was absolutely insane. Well done by Gemini to take that one. Angst has left the game, and it definitely was a bit of good, certainly a bit of a nice micro here from Gemini. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Make sure you jump onto Twitter, say hello to Gemini, and of course myself as well, and I'll catch you all next time. Cheers.